So one, we know this industry by just looking at the first it is highly male dominated industry, right? So for women to break through, I'm not saying it's going to be hard or difficult, but that's just something that you need to know that you're going to be working with. You got to be familiar with working with that particular industry. You have race information. I thought that was important. Like when I actually took a class on this long time ago, looking at the race industry, it was like, whoa, we are definitely not in there. And so you probably might have to be a little political, right? Based on, when you look at the statistics. So our community, 5.3%. 5.3%. So not, yeah. I mean, there's friendly faces in all cultures, right? But we definitely do not represent this particular industry very well. So there's room, especially, when you think about the different grants that are out there for African-American based business or minority-owned businesses. So that might be, then, because part of starting a business is doing your research, right? And looking up information. And so this could possibly be a great entry into starting this business and getting a grant to actually do it because of, where it is. Okay. But that also, you got to look on the outside too, you get into the business and, so you need to be able to work with other different types of populations because of the people who maybe make up the percentage of this business more than we do. Okay. So that's just a little bit. I didn't see anything else to check. You said SMH. Katanya, what? Katani, what do you say? What's SMH for? What's the SMH for? But, got to deal in the facts, right? Know what you're getting into before you get into it. So that way there are no surprises. So, yeah. So I just wanted to hit y'all with that. That wasn't in my original notes, but I thought I would look that up just to see. So yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the salary. Yes. Oh, is the average salary, is it worth the time spent? That's good, because the average salary was like what? 56,000, I think. Let me pull that back up. What did it say? Yeah, median income about 55 to 52 to 55,000, almost 56,000. So, and again, it depends, like, because you have traditional companies, you have digital companies, freight broking companies. So it could depending on the type. We don't know what the type of company it is. And it depends a lot too on, are you a go-getter, right? Is no going to upset you, So because a lot is marketing and sales as well, and building relationships. And so you have to be a person that, either you're going to hire a team and help you, like, so you can do certain things, or you're going to do everything yourself. It just depends. There's a lot of key parts to it that will determine, what you make. And so doesn't mean that you will be at the $56,000, right? But it's just giving you some of those averages out there. All right. So here is a quick video. It's about 4 minutes. A day in the life of a freight broker. I thought this was good because you can really see all the different pieces, because it sounds simple, but you can really see all the pieces of the puzzle that go through. And it's an animated version. So most of us, we watch animated stuff all the time. So, all right. So let's watch this. And while you are looking at this, trying to get some of these off my screen. Here are some, wait, I'm going to go back to that. So I want you to think through some of these questions. What are some benefits for carriers and shippers to work with freight brokers? We kind of answered that already, but now that you have more information, what would you say now? Or what are some advantages to being a freight broker, right? And then, oh, I did get ahead of myself. What does the industry look like now? So we looked at some of the statistics already. And then, so on the opposite, so we'll look for advantages and disadvantages, right? What are some potential problems or disadvantages do you see in being a freight broker? Okay, so we're going to look at what are some potential advantages to being a freight broker, and what are some disadvantages after you watch this video, okay?
A day in the life as a freight broker. Freight brokers act as intermediaries by arranging for the transportation of cargo between shippers and motor carriers. The freight broker then receives a commission for his or her matchmaking skills. Freight brokers are also known as truck brokers, transportation brokers, property brokers, and third-party intermediaries. While actual on-the-job experience is the best teacher, it's difficult to find brokers willing to employ new agents. Formal training with qualified individuals who have actual brokering experience helps pull everything into perspective for the beginning broker. As a result of using a good mentor, the new broker not only gets a hold of the tools of the trade, but also strikes out on a note of confidence. Having said this, let's take a look at a typical day in the life of a freight broker. After the freight broker has placed many phone calls to potential customers, he or she should have perhaps 20, 30, 40 or more shippers in their database. The initial information that each broker will collect will be general in nature. What type of cargo is the shipper shipping? Where are the normal pickup and deliver points? What kind of truck is required? And so on. With a base of customers on hand, the broker will want to start asking for the order by placing phone calls to shippers early in the morning, perhaps from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. This is when most shippers are putting the final touches on their needs. Basically, the broker is asking if the shipper is looking for any trucks on that particular day. Once the shipper has a load for which he needs a truck, the next step is to take the order from the shipper. The shipper will go into detail on what is required. Any uncertainties that the broker has should be cleared up immediately. It's imperative that the broker communicates the correct information to each truck driver or dispatcher when they start calling in. Then the broker will either work up an estimate of what rate is needed and they'll get back with the shipper, or the broker will simply ask the shipper what they want to pay. After some calculations, the freight broker will come up with an amount that they will offer to the truck. The ideal starting point is to get at least a 10% profit margin on each load. The next step is to post these loads on the internet load boards. There are numerous loading boards where loads are posted, as well as searches for trucks that may be done. After these loads have been posted, the broker will then go to his or her database of available trucks. The broker will then call each carrier to see if they have a truck available. In the meanwhile, the broker may be receiving incoming calls from individuals who are responding to the posts on the load boards. At some point, the broker is looking for the driver or dispatcher who will say, "Yes, I want the load." Sometimes the broker will not find a truck. This is not like shooting fish in a barrel. However, with experience and by earning repeat business, the broker will cover more and more loads. After the broker gets the yes from the carrier, he or she then immediately calls the shipper to tell them that the load is being booked. The broker will then fax their setup package to the carrier. While the carrier is processing the agreement and other papers, the broker will check out the carrier to make sure the carrier is properly authorized and insured. This is done either on the internet or telephone. The last item sent to the carrier is the confirmation. The carrier should immediately sign and date this document and fax it back to the broker. Once the broker has this confirmation on hand, the broker will want to call the truck driver if the driver himself hasn't called the broker. The details of the load are then given to the driver along with any instructions. The broker will also ask the driver to call in at least every morning if it is a multi-day trip. There are important requirements that each broker should be ready to implement. After the load is delivered and the carrier is reported back to the broker will want to call the shipper to let them know of the status. Lastly, with the load delivered safely and in a timely fashion, the broker is ready to do the process over and over again. While this routine may seem casual and boring at times, this is hardly the truth. Most of the time, the broker will experience smooth going. However, there will be times when problems will arise. Late deliveries, failure of the carrier to pick up a load, damaged cargo or missing pieces, long delays, to name just a few.